Hello children, in this video I am present here with a new topic of economics, that is chapter number 4, poverty. So in this chapter we will discuss the meaning of poverty, the various types of poverty, causes of poverty, the various government initiatives taken to eradicate the poverty from our country. Also we will talk about relative poverty and absolute poverty. So let us start the chapter with the meaning of poverty. So actually poverty is a social phenomenon which deprives a section of society, or which deprives a particular group of people from the basic necessities of life, like food, clothing, housing, education, health facilities, etc. So as it is mentioned here, poverty is the inability to fulfill the minimum requirements of life, like food, clothing, housing, education, health facilities, etc. So a person who is not able to acquire the basic necessities of life, or is deprived from the basic necessities of life, so that social phenomenon we call it as poverty. Now poverty can be of two types. In two categories we can divide. First it is relative poverty, and the second one it is absolute poverty. So we call it this poverty as relative poverty when we compare the poverty of one country with that of the other country, or the poverty of one region to that of the other region. Means comparison of poverty is being done, that we call it as the relative poverty. And absolute poverty is the pure form of poverty, the definition which we have just referred to, that social phenomena which deprives a section of society from the basic necessities of life. So we can say absolute poverty refers to the total number of people living below the poverty line. Here one new term is coming, poverty line. So let us understand what is the meaning of poverty line and how this poverty line is fixed by the government. So this absolute poverty, it is measured on the basis of two criteria. The first criteria is based on calorie consumption, and the second criteria is based on monthly expenditure, or we can say the daily expenditure. So these two categories are minimum calorie consumption criteria and minimum consumption expenditure criteria. So let us understand the first criteria to measure absolute poverty. First one, it is minimum calorie consumption. Now the calorie consumption in rural and urban area, it is measured differently. Since the people in rural area, they do more of physical work, so that is why their calorie consumption per day per person is higher as compared to per person per day in urban area. So according to this first criteria, people who are not getting 2400 calories per person per day in rural area, already I told you the calorie consumption requirement in rural area is more, because there the people has to do more of physical work than in urban area. So people who are not getting 2400 calories per person per day in rural area and 2100 calories in urban area is considered to be living below poverty line. So this is one of the criteria to measure the poverty, minimum calorie consumption, 2400 calories per person per day. If a person is getting, or more than this they are getting, they are not considered poor people, because they are on the poverty line or above the poverty line. Those who are getting or consuming less than these calories, 2400 in rural areas and 2100 in urban areas, they are called poor people. Second criteria is minimum consumption expenditure criteria. So it is on the basis of monthly expenditure or per day capita expenditure. So let us see the new poverty line, thus translated to be a monthly per capita consumption expenditure. So here also it is in two different way in rural and urban areas. Rupees 972 in rural areas and rupees 1407 in urban areas according to 2011 and 12. So or rupees 32 in rural areas and rupees 47 in urban areas on a per capita daily basis. Okay, one it is monthly basis and it is daily basis. So these are the two criteria to measure the absolute poverty. Now, how to distinguish whether a person is poor or non-poor? So for that, one concept is there, that is called poverty line. So let me define this particular line or understand what is this poverty line. So it is a line on income distribution which divides the people as poor or non-poor. People below this line are poor and on or above this line are non-poor. Or in other words, poverty line refers to that line which expresses per capita average monthly expenditure that is essentially required by the people to satisfy their minimum needs. Now one committee has given its report to determine this poverty line, that is Tendulkar committee. So according to this committee, poverty line is estimated in monthly basis as rupees 816 in rural areas and rupees 1000 in urban areas. People who are not able to earn even such amount in a month are considered living below poverty line. And according to the overall survey, so in India approximately 22% of the population is living below poverty line. This is the data. Now already we have discussed about this estimation of poverty line, calorie based as well as this consumption expenditure. Now there are some approaches of the government to overcome poverty. So these approaches are, first approach is to enhance economic growth. If the economic growth rate of the country is improving or increasing, it would be able to overcome the problem of poverty in our country. Economic growth rate will raise the production of the country, it will help in generation of the employment opportunities to the people, and hence would be able to alleviate the poverty from our country. Second approach is a specific program for poverty alleviation. The government has set up number of programs or schemes in order to overcome the poverty or to alleviate poverty from our country. Some of the common programs already they are very known to us: Rural Employment Generation Program, Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana, then Sampurna Gramin Yojana, Rozgar Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, recent one. So all these different programs, specific programs are developed by government to provide or to help in generating income to the poor people and thus eradicate poverty from our country. And the third approach is fulfilling minimum needs of the poor. It means the basic necessities of life should be provided to the poor people. So for that the government is making use of the public distribution system, so that the minimum requirements or the basic necessities of the poor people can be fulfilled. Now let us understand the meaning of vicious cycle of poverty. It refers to a situation when the people continue to remain in that cycle of poverty. So that is known as vicious cycle of poverty. Let me read it out. It refers to the situation of self-reinforcing forces in which there are certain factors that are related in a circular way and result in continuation of poverty and underdevelopment. There are some forces and factors which keep the people under poverty, or due to which the people remain poor throughout their life. So that we call it as the vicious cycle of poverty. Now, some of the main causes of poverty in India are rapid increase in population. The population of India is continuously rising, and the government is unable to fulfill the demand of the people. The supply of the food items or the other goods, that is always in shortage of the demand in our country. That is one of the reason behind this increase in population. Then second, due to this increase in population, the employment growth rate, that is also less as compared to the rate of increase in population. So population is one of the major cause behind poverty in our country. Second, underdeveloped economy. Okay, if the economy of a country is underdeveloped, it will fail to the economy will fail to grow, the industries will fail to expand, and it will fail to increase the GDP of the country, and the people won't get the required jobs, their income will not be increasing, and they will remain poor. Next factor, it is cause of poverty is rise in prices, that is inflation. Especially the essential commodities, the price of essential commodities are continuously increasing, and there are number of people who are unable to purchase these essential commodities to survive. So rise in price is another very major cause behind poverty. Next, it is unemployment. This unemployment, the main reason, it is increase in population, because the rate of increase in population is much higher as compared to the rate of generation of employment opportunities in the country. Though the government after independence has set up number of industries all over or in the various parts of the country, yet we are unable, or we have failed to provide employment opportunities to all the people of our country. So unemployment is another reason behind poverty. Low rate of growth. So economic growth rate is also low, national income is also low. Low level of capital formation, because capital formation is very important for the growth of industries in our country, or for the growth of economy of a country. Now let us understand what is this capital formation. Capital formation is the outcome of saving and investment. If the people of a country are with low income, their savings will also be low, and as a result of low saving, the investment will also be low, and because of low investment, there will be low level of capital formation. Next factor behind poverty is rural indebtedness. The people, those who are living in rural areas, they are always in debt. One statement is used for the farmers of rural areas, that they are born in debt, live in debt, and die with debt. So these rural people, they are always in debt. Whatever income they are generating, they pay that income in the form of interest to the money lenders or to the other institutions from where they have raised the credit. So rural indebtedness is another reason behind poverty. Exploitation under British rule. This is one of the very major cause of poverty of our country. The Britishers ruled over India near about 200 years, and they exploited our country. They drained away the wealth of our country. During their time, number of industries, they were systematically de-industrialized. The very famous world famous handicraft industries also declined during British rule, and the people, those who were in the agricultural sector, they were also forced to grow the cash crop in place of food crop. So that is another reason for poverty, exploitation under British rule. Next factor, it is low level of education. Due to low level of education, the people are unable to get a highly paid job, so they are failing to generate a better income for themselves, so they remain under poverty. And the last factor which we are discussing here is improper utilization of resources. We know that India is blessed with resources, but we are unable to exploit the resources, we are unable to utilize these resources in a fruitful manner, and we are failing to develop more and more industries. That is why still the people are not getting the employment opportunities, they are unable to generate the income, and they remain in the vicious cycle of poverty. Now some of the measures which are adopted by the government to remove poverty, let us discuss about these programs one by one. The first program, it is Rural Employment Generation Program. So let me tell about this program. Actually it is self-employment program. So this program aims at creating self-employment opportunities in rural areas and small towns. It was implemented by Khadi and Village Industry Commission, and under this program one can get financial assistance in the form of bank loan to set up an enterprise that generates employment. Second, it is Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana. That is also an scheme for self-employment. So this particular scheme was launched on April 1st 1999, and its aim was to encourage micro enterprises and to bring the assisted poor families above the poverty line by organizing them into self-help groups. Under this program, people who wish to benefit from this scheme are encouraged to form self-help group and generate income. Next program, it is Prime Minister's Rojgar Yojana. This is also self-employment program. So let me tell you about this particular Yojana. The educated unemployed from low income families in rural areas as well as in urban areas can get financial help to set up an enterprise that generates employment under this scheme, and it generates employment by setting up 7 lakh micro enterprises, and that was during the 8th plan. So this is also self employment generating scheme. Fourth one, Sampurn Gramin Rozgar Yojana, that is wage employment scheme. So this scheme was launched in September 2001, and its aim was to provide wage employment to poor unskilled workers in rural areas and to encourage labor intensive work among rural people who are willing to render manual or unskilled services. Next scheme is Swarna Jayanti Shastri Rojgar Yojana. This scheme is self-employment as well as wage employment. So this scheme mainly aims at creating employment opportunities for both self-employed and wage employment in rural areas, and the cost of the program is shared by the center and the state in the ratio 75 to 25, means 75% fund will be provided by the central government and 25% fund would be provided by the state government. Next scheme, it is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. That is also wage employment scheme. This was passed in the year 2005. So the aim of this scheme is to provide guaranteed wage employment to every household whose adult member is to do unskilled manual work for a minimum of 100 days in a year. So at least 100 days guaranteed this work was provided by the government and the wages were given to the people. And the latest one, it is Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So this was started in the year 2014. So this scheme or the Yojana encourages people to open bank account to integrate them into financial economy. And besides promoting saving habits, this scheme intends to transfer benefit of government schemes and subsidies directly to the account holders. So these are some of the measures adopted by government to remove poverty from our country. Hope you have understood what is poverty, what are the various types of poverty, causes of poverty, and the measures taken by the government to overcome the poverty. In the exercise part, there are number of questions to be answered. Go through them, answer the questions, at least what all topics we have discussed here. Take that as an assignment. At least 5 questions from this topic you get ready and answer them. And keep continue to read the textbook so that you are not away from your studies. Make a routine of learning. Thank you. Take care of yourself.